Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Hopefully audio is okay. Hopefully everything's okay. And indeed they're silly chickens. It is indeed that time of the week. It's taken a while on that. Obviously, I have university, which has been keeping me exceedingly busy. I had about a 2,000-word essay, and I wrote it between Friday and about a few hours ago. So, that's done, more or less. Not going to be great, but hey, who has time for that? Had a bunch of Japanese before that, so that was fun. How you doing there, Ove Cato Borsheim? Good to have you, my friend. I always feel like the, feels like the music audio is just louder than it ever used to be, and it weirds me out. So I can't think of a way to make it any quieter, but okay. Maybe I just hear it better. Maybe that's why. No, it isn't, thankfully, which is why I got it done. It's just I have to hand it in tonight, so we'll do this and we'll get on with that then. Okay. I always have the bloody shortcuts. Head over to the other side. What a memento. Right, there we are. And we're good to go. Awesome. How you doing there, Connor? Nice to see you, my friend. Okay. Now, we do have a few hopeful things to happen here today. We do have a bunch of submarines actually lined up on the path towards Tulagi, if indeed he's going to hit Tulagi. We do actually have a naval strike set up from Bowen of the Shortlands, and as well Triscuits. Like that. And as well from Raphael. So, we'll see. How you doing there, Stein? Good to have you. Hello there, Alex. Good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Alright, let's see. Let's see. I do hope the subs work or something. It would be very nice to actually be able to get a bit of, I don't know, take some of these cruisers down by Tulagi. That would be nice. Okay, we do occupy that base, which is actually really nice because that saves us some time there. How you doing there, Fall? Good to have you. That's cool there, Connor. I've just been busy. Exceedingly busy. Okay. And we are reacted to the shipping out here, and we do encounter them. There we go. So they're obviously well and truly effed. Japanese naval force is surprised, yet they reacted to the enemy. I don't know how you can be surprised. So that's a patrol craft. And she goes down there. We do have another DD out this way. So ideally we encounter the other targets in that area. 1080p. Where is it? Is it different? Okay. We are continuing to try to hunt the enemy submarines in this area. Couple rattles. We have started to see, though, that the Jakes are attacking, which is very good news. Yeah, their depth charges aren't up to task, but they're still good. They can still cause some damage. How you doing there, Vulcan? Good to have you, my man. Do hope you're doing well. Okay. Task Force merges there. Okay. I do have some attacks set up over here in Sumatra. They're only bombardments just to gauge how strong the enemy is. Right, okay. So, there is another DD out there that should be reacted to the other enemy task force in that area. There we are, that's what I was talking about. They may yet still react as well, the heavy cruiser and DDs, we shall see. Hey, didn't they, Helson? Yes, they're loading. They've been loading through the night now. Ideally, they'll be ready to get underway. We do have the Kinabatai going north as well. Torpedo misses, okay. It's definitely a cat and mouse game out here in the Makassar Strait, but I do need to drive them out. Okay, she's out, so she'll have to rearm there at BLeAcHACiD. Now, he's not too far away from the Forest Bay here. I do wonder where he would be rearming. He could potentially rearm it. I'm not too sure what they are. I can't recall what is requirement for a submarine to rearm. I'd have to double check that. I know it's not especially stringent, but that is a requirement. Okay, so we do have Susana opening up once again there. Now then, we will be attacking over here at Kukong today. These guys are resting here today. We do have bombardment set up in the north. It'd be interesting to see if these troops actually move. I don't know what they're... They've got to be somewhat close. I don't know, it's hard to say. We are moving our assets around here as well. I haven't had any information on any of the units yet, but I do have reconnaissance set up from Shanghai to actually run reconnaissance over Wencao. Well, reconnoiter Wencao. Previously they were doing it from Takao. Obviously Shanghai is closer. Okay, so it's just reporting hits on the industry here. I've got to feel that it's probably due to a low detection level, but we'll see. We'll see. It'd be kind of wild if Wencao was actually empty, but I doubt that one. Okay, so we do have landings going on here. Oh, so there's a garrison here as well. Okay. I didn't realise there was a garrison there. I can bring more men there anyway. I imagine they'll be low on supply, if anything. Well, one would hope. Right, okay. Yeah, likely so. Right, reacting there. And the reason why I had it set up for the night is just obviously they leave Shanghai and then go in and bombard. Said that is a battalion. Okay. Seawolf out there. Seawolf misses, thankfully. We do now have our chain of Jakes established along here. Oops. So from Palembang all the way to Japan. So that's good. Obviously that will improve in the future. Right, there we are. That's good to see there. I don't know what happened to the single destroyer, but I'm still happy that we actually do get to sink additional ships here. Now, what is it? It is an AKL? Beatrice. I feel like I've seen Beatrice before. Obviously, she is doomed. Then she can return to rearm. Ooh, there we go. So we do see Jupiter out here. Okay. Now, he may be hunting us, actually, but I'm not too sure. We did previously see something that had... Well, of course, they hit straight away. Okay. Well, yeah, there you go. That British ASW is pretty remarkably good. I guess we'll see how bad the damage is. But it looks like she'll have to limp back to port if she even makes it. Yeah, looks like she's doomed. I love the fact that it can get these hits. It's unbelievably good. Lucky bugger. Well, if she survives, we'll have her brought back to port. Apparently ship's out a bad way. Interesting. I do wonder if he's going to be within range, actually. Oh, we're actually seeing ships out a bad way. Interesting, actually. That's really interesting, seeing ships out that way. Because we do actually have our assets at Roy-Namur. Interesting. There's a lot of submarines out that way. So Kinabatai is obviously now sighted, but we'll see. I do wonder what is to the north there. We do see that he expected us to come into Wake, as they deployed the vast majority of their submarines around there. And there we are. So these raids do have a little bit more coordination, but I do need to obviously build this airfield up over here, get more aviation support out here as well. But we'll get about soon enough. It just feels very slow right now, because it is taking time to get back. Oh, that's looking quite good there. 626 is actually quite nice. I wonder if it's switched to a different mode, perhaps. Okay, more bombers coming in. 37 there. Another 172. And we continue our bombing up Moresby. Okay. Another 17 sallies there. And another 90 casualties. I think he has a task force disbanded at Red Islands. I'll have to look at that actually. That's interesting. I wonder if we do get a strike out against the CLs near Tulagi. I think they were within range, and I think they are within range now. Okay, so we've seen a couple of task forces in this area now. Oh, come on. Well, it appears that within range, it just appears that we're getting screwed by the weather. But there's about 20 odd of them, so let's hope that some of them can get out there. So my bloody god, I want to have some strikes out. Right, so still seeing the Blenheims. And he's kind of screwed out here now. And obviously will get worse each turn. Come on, I really want to have some of these G3s actually find a target. God's sakes. Okay. Right, Haddock. So we see a task force over here, we see a task force over here then. These, I believe, are the DMSs heading north. I'd have to double check. I think they are. There's a PB that should be heading over to Tangi with some supply, but we'll take a look at the situation. That's a little annoying that we do have the Nels actually within range, but the weather stops them from striking. That sounds about bloody right. But we move into the ground attack phase. So we do actually have a shock. Sorry, we have a deliberate attack there with the 39th Division. 51st Infantry Brigade, 4th Mortars against the 72nd Chinese Corps. I figured they'd probably hold this time, and then I'll shock attack next turn. Not complaining about lack of supply, so I think I will shock attack next turn then. We do have our bombardment still over here then. Still seeing the same numbers, I believe. There's still a fair amount of power here, but they are being reduced over time, and they do have lower supply. Well, low supply. Oh, hello. Hello. Okay, so we're seeing men here, men here. Okay. That's come from Chongqing, so it looks like it's actually, that's interesting, actually. How you doing there, Snake? Good to have you, my man. Right, okay. So we're actually seeing some developments over by Kianko. That's interesting. I'm going to be really intrigued to see what the actual amount of men is around there now. Okay. Speed this up. Right, so only 36 casualties apparently. We have our deliberate attack over here at Gong. Yeah, good to have you, man. I've been fairly busy as of late, so I'm not on as much as I used to be. Okay. I expect Kukong to fall today, so 0 fortifications, 384 to 53, and we do capture Kukong. There we are, that's good. Hoping to inflict more damage, but let's see, where do they retreat to then? Towards Henyang, so they do retreat up this way then, okay. Head the units in clear terrain, please. Oh, over in the north, yeah. Only issue is the bloody range and also getting the bloody amount of aviation support there. We will be able to do that to a much superior degree shortly. It's just getting out there. And I did have a actual airstrike set up from Kongchang, I forget the name of it, to actually hit Kianko, but it didn't fly this turn. Weather seems to be really iffy up that way. Okay, so pretty much non-existent casualties here then. 721 there. Pretty nice. Not many squads remaining, it seems. So we should be able to follow that up pretty quickly, if not immediately. Okay. We'll have to take a look at the numbers and compare them. Yeah, there was Lankau, sorry, there was a strike from Lankau that was meant to hit Kianko, didn't fly this turn, it seems. Right, so speed this up. Yeah, you can see that they are starting to take, well, obviously they've been taking damage each and every time. If I could get the amount of bombers that are down here at Hankau to be striking here every turn, that'd be very nice. It's not long before we break through, and I don't know, I just don't know why he's pulling back I don't know. I mean, we'll see how many units are actually here and be able to judge that. I think he had nearly 1,000 AV, roughly, something like that, so we should be able to get a quick and dirty idea of how strong he is. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, 328 casualties there. Maybe I might have underestimated it. Maybe it was closer to 2,000, but that's 1,648 there. Or I might have misremembered. We'll take a look at the amount of units. I think it was something like, ooh, was it 30 something? 33 maybe. We'll have to take a look. But I mean, the amount of casualties being caused is actually pretty good. It probably does suggest he's in a different mode. Okay, bombardment over here, then. So we are seeing about 30 AV. Oh yeah, you can see that bombardment having a big impact there, so we should be able to defeat them next turn, more than likely. Over here at Sorabaya. Reinforcements are marching down here now. Yeah, you can see that unit's being reduced now. Okay, so 1 AV there, so we'll be able to defeat that. No problemo. We may be in a position to own Sumatra next turn then. At least the entirety of the mainland. Well, of the main island. Haramashiro and Jima, expands fortifications, expansion of fortifications around the Empire now. Okay, so I was kind of hoping that we would have been able to strike out by Talagi. I'm not sure how far he moved. I think he's moved, but it doesn't appear to have been far. But I'm not too sure. I was kind of expecting our submarines to react, so he might not have actually moved in such a way as we expected, or even moved. But I guess we'll see. The task forces around Wake are interesting. I do look very much forward to seeing what we do have in terms of information there available to us. Okay, it will. Those are nice units to have available. The extra artillery can go straight to China. Okay. So we'll save it here. I mean, speaking of artillery, I do have additional artillery that's going to be travelling to China from Luzon, and that'll be moving out shortly enough. Eventually it'll make its way into the heart of China, and then it'll start to be useful. Eventually a lot of the artillery I will have moved to islands and etc. Especially the shorter ranged artillery like the big old mortars. I think it's the T-92 mortars, I can't recall exactly which one it is. But those bad boys will have shifted out to islands because, well, their range doesn't particularly matter, and they can obviously cause quite a lot of damage. Some larger units of them as well. You do have about 20 odd mortars, which is quite nice. So let's take a look. Where should we look at first? Let's take a look at the sub down here first. Yeah, so she has taken a bit of a pounding there. It looks like this is a hunter-killer group then. And the British ASWE is remarkably effective. It's definitely the most dangerous. Okay, I do need to have something sent out this way to Christmas Island IO to take that. But the division detachments are on their way now. So they'll arrive 2 days. So they'll arrive at Surabaya by the 24th of March. We may very well be able to attack them on the 25th of March. Probably do well enough to do so. We do have the armor on the way. I think I'll probably wait for the armor to arrive. Oh wow, that's kind of annoying that they're 1 mile behind, but they'll still catch up. We'll wait for the armor to arrive at Surabaya. Allow the actual troops over here then to arrive too. They can rest. Yeah, there is like fatigue here on the artillery. Fatigue and everything else doesn't particularly matter, or is the fatigue on the artillery is increasing due to them being in use each turn. Okay, and over here. Still decreasing. I think another turn and they'll be alright. Right, return to replenish. I could have a bombardment set up and potentially attack this turn, but we'll see. I do have 2 DDs over here that I've refueled now, so we could set them up for bombardment. I might have them bombarded then. We can attack the next turn. We'll see. The light industry over here is nice. It would be nice to try and keep some of that, but it doesn't really matter that much. So I don't see anything else out this way then. Okay. Oh dear. Speaking of China. Take a look. Okay. So we do have another CL heading south there. 3 units over here. We do see the 5 there. So obviously those are the units that we kicked out of Luchao. I think we still have reconnaissance over Luchao, so I need to move that elsewhere. So they're there. Okay, no problemo. So they can head immediately north now. Oh yeah, oh yeah. They will have to have time to recover at some point in the future, but they can immediately head north. The infantry battalion can just rest up here for the time being. Unfortunately, no engineers, so any damage incurred can't be repaired. But it looks like we're actually good to go here, to be honest. I don't think there's anything. Is there anything else here at Kokon? Well, we actually do have resources, but only one of that was damaged. That's quite nice, actually. Yep, excellent. That's going to be producing resources for the Empire. Okay. It still appears to be static here, then, as far as I can tell. We do have our second unit arriving over here. There we are. So this temporary unit can instead now... Let's see. I think I'll have them head on, because then they can actually just secure this hex over here, then, and I could probably put like a unit here and just try and secure this area here. How much ammo does the CA Task Force near Australia have left? Very little. We'll be looking towards bombarding Darwin in the near future, actually, again. Probably after we've rearmed. No, I think the end of China is within sight, definitely. So 32 units there. So it's only a small unit then. 1 unit there. Let's take a look over here then. It looks like he still has units heading this way over to here and here as well. Maybe what he's trying to do then is actually withdraw from Kyenko but leave units in positions that would be tough to dig out. But would leave a garrison at Kyenko nonetheless anyway, and a fair garrison. With it being ×2 defensive terrain, it's very easy for us to work with to hold and defend that. It could make it difficult for us, but I don't think it could make it any real challenge. I don't know. I still find it surprising that he'd consider giving it up, but if he's giving it up, maybe there's something else that we're not seeing here. Maybe he has a plan in mind, which he likely does. Yeah, take a look at that. 2 Salis Ops losses, a Sonoya, a Betty, a Kate. He does lose a Hurricane Tropical, which is nice. Those things are definitely good to see go down there. So not much in the way there. Ship sunk today then. Apparently triggers listed as being sunk. We did hit her, I think it was a Qualagene, or Roinema, I forget which one it was. Gato class, Beatrix, and a patrol craft. A 35mm gun. Not bad. How much fuel do you have in Japan? Do you need to transport some from the Dutch Indies? Yeah, we've had some of that being moved over, actually. There was one carrying about 95k of fuel. This one's carrying... So it's 18k on that. Ah, there we go. We have 95k there. There's another 23k there, but that's... Sorry, another 20-odd-k there, but I'm likely going to keep on board the AOs. There is, more resources. I mean, well, we're going to have about an infusion, maybe about 100k fuel then, which is not a huge amount, but we're not lacking for fuel at the moment. The big infusion has been of resources, but we can start to move that fuel back shortly enough. The good news is once China is conquered, then fuel will be able to move up this way as well, if needs be. So we'll have a few more options for where we want to move it, or how we want to move it. Alright, it's looking good enough. We do, of course, have more oil available to us in China, which is good. There we go, closing in on Rumchi. Yeah, they've got good prep for it as well, so they'll be able to take that pretty quickly. I don't know. He's kind of doing it to an extent, but he seems to be using them more tactically, which I kind of agree with. I think he's doing well with them like that. It's not as if he won't have the ability to target us economically in the future, but it's also much harder in this game compared to what it was in real life, because obviously the Japanese player will always look towards escorts and his convoys. It's kind of just a thing you have to do as Japan. If you don't escort it, then yeah, you're not playing Japan. You're going to lose a lot. He can still gain successes. He will have a lot of them, but we can hunt them down and keep them out, really. Okay, so... These guys over here then will arrive next turn in movement mode. The terrain here then is wooded. Okay. Could likely go for a shock attack there. I'm just contemplating whether I should just wait for these guys to arrive. But then again, it gives him... Well, he's going to know anyway. He's going to know either way, isn't he? Okay. Unless I moved in combat mode. But if I move in combat mode, it doesn't make a difference, does it? Because then they'll arrive a day later. I can go for shock attack, I guess. He's likely going to be without supply. It is 621 AV there. He has been attacked. He likely will have little to no supply. I'm surprised if he does, so we should be able to manage that. Now, the unit that really is going to make my day is the 6th Division. I really do need the 6th Division to arrive in time. Well, they're moving. I think they're moving about 6 miles a turn or something like that. But I need them to get to this hex over here. This hex is going to be so very important, and I cannot wait to use the bombers against this hex too. I've seen these men out here. Interesting turn of event. We are moving more aviation support to the north, so one day we will be able to have hundreds of bombers over this area quite confidently. Well, quite comfortably. Right, they're moving north. They're not far away. They're not far either. Still taking a while, but they're still not that... Well, they're not that far. That's been built up. It's taken a while. I do have this unit over here, and I think I may very well have that head directly towards Kyenko. At least then I can get some aviation support in that way. So I'll have it continue into this hex tomorrow, then it'll turn this way. I will need some aviation support there. I can build that airfield up pretty quick. But I just need to get some aviation support in there, then I'll be able to have no issues with range here. Right, I should have had... Yeah, here we are. Those guys are moving to the north towards Ichang. Yeah, I know, right. He can still lose them, but... Right, there we are. So these base forces have arrived now, which is excellent news. There will be others coming too. so that does increase the amount of aviation support we have here at Hankau. So now, previously we didn't have enough, we now do have enough over here at Hankau, which is excellent news. So, what that means is, well, for one, there's more engineers now available. You can see we only have about 108 engineers, so we'll have more engineers available. No vehicles. We don't have a huge amount of engineers actually available here at Hankau, so more aviation units moving in here with their engineers is going to be great. We can get that built up, and it's taken a while now. It's underway, but it's still just taking too long for my liking. I'd like to increase the size of this. We do have these units out here then moving. These guys have arrived at their destination, so they can head north. Same for these fellows. Yeah, we can hunt them. Like, we have the aircraft doing that. And they'll get better at it as well. Right, so they're heading to Wuchang. Probably not a bad idea to head to Wuchang in fairness. And if I was to take, let's say, Changsha, that's 9. That does put me within range of Chongqing, actually, with the bombers there. But then again, I can always have those aviation units moved out that way, can't I? So that's no problem. These guys I'll have head north then. It is worthwhile to have aviation support up over this way. At least I can have it moved in there. But then again, maybe not, maybe. I don't know. We have a few options, I guess. It depends on which is going to fall sooner rather than later, isn't it? Okay. We are making the moves that we want over here. Right. Our subs are actually really quite good. I mean, it doesn't seem like it. You might not think so, but they're actually really quite good. And in some ways, we actually have better submarines due to the fact that they do have the float planes. Now, the float planes allow them to actually find the enemy far easier than the American submarines can actually find us. So, I wouldn't knock the Japanese subs, to be honest. You've also got to think of their really good range, too. Like, some of them have some fantastic range. They're not bad subs. They're not bad subs at all, really. They might not have all that fancy-dancy, like, electronics and etc., but this is it. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, that float plane really helps out. Obviously, we have gamed it by giving them a Jake, which they couldn't have, but oh well. Still worthwhile having. Okay. So, I am moving the headquarters over this way towards Yunnan, so I can actually have HQ prep for it. I would like to use bombers against this. Yunnan's probably going to be one of the last places in the north to fall, really. As I'm just well, this is it. They're not doing anything. Be a nice bit of VP to gain there. Trying to mass forces as I can. Well, yeah, there you go. Sometimes they work, sometimes they work. Okay. Yes, we do have a good amount heading north. It's just going to take time to get there, really. They're heading there. Okay. They're going to head down that way. And I think I'll have them head out towards Kashgar. Good luck to them. Godspeed. It's going to take some time to get there. And it might be the tanks that arrive first, depending. But I'd rather have a unit head out that way. Because if I don't need to send tanks, then I might be able to be like, well, okay, we'll send something else. So there's nothing really there of value. That's certainly of value. Okay. Now then. So we can rebuild you. Okay. So it's not the strongest division there. But it's certainly useful. So let's go ahead and take a look. No. I think they'll just... I think it's just a date thing with the American torpedoes. I don't think it's an upgrade thing. 52. Takes it to 276 there, so I do need a little bit more AV there before I can move our division out. But it doesn't mean that I can't. Yeah, but it's a bit of a weaker division. But in fairness, I can split that up into essentially And they're quite handy, actually. They're quite handily sized. I'll have them placed into strategic mode. This is it. Turns what was 2 brigades into 3 equally sized division detachments, which are actually quite good for garrisons, to be honest. So I'll take a look. I could probably leave one of those and have 2 of them move out elsewhere. Comes in handy, really. Allows us to free up more units from elsewhere, then. Yeah, peace. Something like that. Okay. Yeah, I find that strange. I'm trying to get the actual reconnaissance over here. We don't have any of it at the moment. I'd love to think that there was no troops here, but I doubt that. Ah, see you later there, Connor. Have a good one, my man. I'd love to think there were no troops there, but I can't believe that. I guess we'll see soon enough. And it's strange that we haven't seen any bombardments hitting any sort of troops, but I don't know, they may just not be aware of what we are hitting properly. Who knows that, really? Okay. So we're looking pretty solid there. And Sumatra, it's looking good, actually. I can go ahead and attack there. Now, a shock attack would be nice, but that's jungle rough, so I think we'll go with a deliberate to begin with. It didn't have that much AV, but it is times 3 terrain. Go treat it with some respect. Right, so these guys can move into here to tackle these guys. Actually, hang on a sec. That's part of the 55th Division. If I do that, it's going to take them forever to get the hell out. It's kind of annoying. I'd like to rebuild the 55th Division more than that. I could always have something moved out here to deal with that in time. What do you want it to do with the divisions to the south near Quaylin? I'll take a look at those shortly. Right, they can attack. What's the terrain there? Is it? Oh, okay, jungle rough. Jungle rough, okay. So we'll have 2 deliberate attacks then. At least they do have bases to actually attack, which is good. Not so much over here, but that's okay. I'd like to get a Naval Guard unit moved over here to Spang, or some sort of garrison over here to Spang to deal with these guys. Does worry me somewhat. A little bit more in here. Right, so they can load up fuel over here as well then. Get that moving into Malaya. Be moving a few hundred units of fuel. Well, a couple thousand units of fuel be moved into Malaya now, which is good. So the divisions near Quaylin. These guys? Yes, okay. They were rested last turn. So you can see that they still have some fatigue actually, which is surprising considering that they did have that rest there. So let's see. We have those units there. We do have this unit over here to act as our garrison, which is good. I'd like to get an Naval Guard unit here because that's 60 AV to act as a garrison, which would be good. Now let's see. They're going to be heading towards Quaylin. That's going to be their task. I think I'll give them another turn of rest, perhaps. Because they do have fairly high disruption, so I'd like to get that burnt off. So once their fatigue and disruption's burnt off, we'll have them reassembled and then they can push on that way. I think it's probably worthwhile to give them the rest now while we have the opportunity to do so. Excuse me. Allows them to recover somewhat as well. They were like 450 divisions. At the moment they're 399. So she just had these numbers. So they were both about 350-ish. Sorry, 450-ish divisions. That's 399. So a bit of rest certainly does help. Ouch. Did you know that Japan lost 4 fighters during the New Guinea campaign? Well, in fairness, Snake, in the New Guinea campaign, they didn't have to deal with like the the bloody American carriers and practically half the American fleet coming down on them. So, yeah, okay. But then if we compare that, we have reduced Port Moresby and we take Port Moresby, then we'll have succeeded there. It looks like he didn't actually move here. It looks like he didn't. So he's still 14 out then. Okay, fair enough. So he hasn't moved, so we still have an opportunity to actually strike at him, which is good. Interesting. We know they definitely can strike at him, it's just the actual weather that prohibited that today. Interesting. We will have more detection on him, sure, I'd imagine. I guess we'll see. Okay. How much do we have here? Not enough. And this is the second time I've done something like this. Let's get them loaded back up. Kind of annoying, but we'll shift them elsewhere. I didn't realise there was a garrison there, that's why. I'll return for that. Let's see. Be able to shift troops here shortly. And then I can have them shifted there to save that island. It's tempting to have these destroyers go bombard that, actually. There's probably not much AV there, but a single squad won't be able to take it. So seeing a number of ships in port, I'm going to have to sink those. That's still moving, good luck to it, it'll be destroyed when it arrives. He's still shifting now, that's very interesting. Right, they're heading that way. The AKEs have arrived here. No, don't bloody unload. Right, so we're going to have them moved into here, actually. Then they can actually disband in there. Then we'll have 3 AKEs over here to just rearm with and bombard the living hell out of him. So they're going to go in for a bombardment there. So we'll keep that going. What are we talking about there for, sorry? Right, so those bad boys there. I mean, they'll likely arrive during the night. That's not quite what I wanted, but okay. I'll just leave that one as is. Okay, so additional supply has arrived here. That is good. That's good. Okay. That keeps us more comfortably supplied in that area. Oh. Possibly. Depends on what its situation's like at the moment. I mean, I'm going to have it bombarded. But I will have something available like that. We do have 2 naval guard units over here that can be shifted. I have the assets to shift them, it's just obviously I need to get this cleared up. Does Japan get marine divisions? I don't think we have marine divisions. It's not like there was that much of a requirement for such a large unit, really. I mean, in fairness, you do have all of these SLF units. So no divisions. Divisions, no, sorry. But then again, you've got to look at the reality of the situation that it wasn't really Japan that was going about invading islands at that point in the war when marine divisions were around. As unified assets, I should say. I'll have infantry divisions for that. Okay. Yeah, I know. I'd like to do something like that one day. Ooh. Well, apparently there's aircraft there. Apparently. 17. Hey, didn't have comments here. I kind of feel like that might be like a surface asset. Well, that's it. I don't know, what do you guys feel like? I kind of feel like that might be maybe cruisers or something of that nature, perhaps. It being just auxiliaries? I mean, it could be something more, but I think it might be cruisers, to be honest. If it is, then that's good. So let's take a look at the distance here. Right, so that's PB there. That shouldn't have been heading out that way, actually. That was still flying them by mistake, so that's why they're out there. Okay. Likely low, true. I just find it odd, because every time we've detected carriers in the past, it usually does indicate, like, some fighters and some bombers as well. I mean, it may very well not be. I don't know. As said, detection could be very low. Likely is. He does have detection around here, a 10 out of 10 next to it, so it could very well be his carriers, but that's interesting though that they've moved so far. Okay. Possibly so. I don't think we need to sacrifice A6K4s to be aware. I think we'll know soon enough. The good news is that we can actually have assets move this way. I mean, the Marsh Islands really is going to work in our favour in this area, which is quite happy about. So they're unloading there. Okay. Yeah, but is it worth sacrificing a A6K4? I mean, you can have them do their job and survive too. And even when they're doing naval search, they'll likely still get shot down, but having them attack? 90-10? I don't know. Yeah, but Snake, that's looking at it in the wrong way, my friend. Because if you go in with that sort of attitude, then you are going to get absolutely walloped. You've got to make the right decisions at the right time. And he has his carriers there, which is, as I said I wanted, in all honesty. This is what we'd like. You got to see that over here at Roynamur. Let's see. No, that's Quadrillion, sorry. Over here at Roynamur, we do have, let's see. So we have about 92 zeros ready over here, which is not a huge amount, but that's not far off what the KB has and should have. That's the important thing to remember here. That's a good amount of zeros that can actually defend. We also do have the G3M2s that can also strike out, which is also very useful. Okay. So we do actually have air defences over here, and now that we do have an indication of what might be very well carriers, we can shift additional assets as well. So we do have the capability to shift, which is good, very good. Also, we do have additional zeros out here too. Some of those need to have pilots in there. It's a bit of a bug when it comes to safety when it does that. Kind of annoying. No, Snake, I disagree there. I just wholeheartedly disagree there. We haven't lost yet. I mean, you tell me, okay, so we've lost a few carriers, okay. I'm not talking that down, but how has that affected us so far? Obviously it's hurt, but it hasn't prevented us gaining anything so far as yet. Obviously it makes it more difficult to achieve things in the future, but it hasn't stopped us. You've got to stop looking at this like 1945 point of view of the US where they're like unstoppable. They will become that. They will be incredibly difficult to stop. Even in 42 they can become difficult to stop, as we've seen. but he's not unstoppable, and he still has to take islands like all those big boys. He has to send men ashore to take them. He has to do a number of different things to take them. And if he's coming to us, then that's a good opportunity for us to actually strike out against him. Yeah, but this is it. This is the Pacific. I mean, if that's the attitude there, Snake, we might as well just surrender. I mean, if you want to play the Allies, you can go play the Allies and enjoy that, like, hype. But we're playing as the Japanese, so we know the story is we lose in the end. So, okay. We'll carry on. We'll see what we can do. All I can say about that, Snake, is, well, if you have that attitude, there's no point watching the series because you're like, well, we lose anyway in the end, so I don't know. I'd say just go into open-minded and realise that warfare isn't as straightforward as you'd like to think. I can understand the viewpoint, but it's one of those where, well, what else do we do? Well, this is it, but the chances of winning as Japan are very, very low, but we have things going in our favour too. We've lost a few carriers, but we've lost CVLs, CVEs. We will gain more of them. We won't be able to replace them, but we will gain more to have the numbers increase. We also will be able to make use of land-based airfields too. It's fine. Okay, so we do have the men loaded here of the 2nd Division, which is good. Now, I may have them head this way, perhaps, just on the off chance. I do like to evacuate assets that may be hit. We're at a good enough distance here where they are protected, but it certainly does not hurt to be prepared. But the good news is we do have zeros out here that could be shifted, perhaps. That's very nice for us. We do have that ability to project power out from there. And to be honest, it'd be very interesting to see what happened there. I mean, even being able to have a strike against him would be quite good. Now, if we take a look at this, let's see. He is about 21 hexes from Roy Namur, 21 hexes from Quadraline, whatever you want to call it. So I think he moves, is it 9 per phase or 6 per phase? Something like that. I think he could move in a full turn of just straight movement 18, I think it is in total. So I think we'd have the ability to hit out at him. I think he would have to move at full speed. But even then, if he moves at full speed, I don't know if he could actually move that far. I don't think he could move that far in a single turn, no matter what he does. So the likelihood is that we can strike out against him, which is good. Okay, let's see. So we are detected over here then, which is no shock. KB itself is detected, okay. Now, it's a very interesting situation here. I do like the situation as it's developing so far. I won't move straight out against him. I am going to be lingering somewhat in this area to begin with anyway. The reason why we moved over this way is to try and draw the subs this way. At the moment we only have the DMSs moving north. So we'll see. We'll see, actually. I have to think about this one. But I'd like to encourage him to continue to move towards the Marshall Islands, in all honesty. If we could actually get the ability to strike out at him with land-based aircraft, that'd be fantastic, actually. I mean, like, 90-odd zeros. It's not enough to stop him 100%, but it's certainly enough to actually shoot down a number of actual assets there. I mean, hell, who knows? I mean, the G3s might be able to actually get through with that level of escort. And I don't think we'd have to worry about Roynham being struck in return, especially if we evacuated. So we could potentially look towards like a 100% strike situation with those assets there. And they'd likely make it through. Which would obviously make a tremendous difference, so we'll see about that. We'll see. Maybe we do have the carriers move towards him, but then I think it sacrifices any sort of advantage we may gain. We'll have to think about that one. Yeah, exactly, you can't sink the Marshall Islands. And especially if we move the actual ships out of that area, so they're safe, then we're good to go there, really. The good news is only a regiment is loaded at this time. Oh, they're over here as well. Okay, cool, cool. They're actually underway faster than I expected. But the fact that they're underway is actually fantastic because I can actually move them away and they're no longer at risk then. So that's quite good. So we have our wave that can move around this way. Yeah, we'll have to think. That one's interesting. Maybe that is him moving additional reinforcements in, which if he's doing that, that's going to be a pain in the ass, but we'll see about that. And we will eventually end with Wake Island here. It's going to take time to get that, but we'll eventually end it there. He may actually be moving fuel to Wake Island to refuel the submarines. There's a lot of different things he could be doing there at Wake. We'll see there. Yeah, I know, Ford, I know. And I still don't believe that was just because we weren't with the transports. I mean, that was also the fact that we didn't have the intelligence there. We could have been with the transports, but then this is it, we just simply didn't know. Obviously, had we had the intelligence, then that could have been the right move, but we didn't have the intelligence, and it turned out to be the bad move. But still prudent to be with them as an escort, most of the time anyway. Right, let's see. So where are these DMSs, at least some of these DMSs? So that's interesting. We do have an Immortalk as a sheltered harbour, which is excellent. I think what we may do then is possibly linger around here, perhaps. It's going to be an interesting one. I'd love to try and draw him closer to Marsh Islands, and I think he may be heading that way. Northwest is interesting. Kiddipatai is over here. So Kiddipatai is about 10 hexes and 11 hexes from Kwajalein. Now, I do have all these subs in the area that I obviously have head down this way too. So not far. Possibly, possibly. Well, I mean, this is what he may imagine, but we're still within the air umbrella there. But I mean, if he's coming for the KB, then okay, fantastic. I think what we could probably do then is just linger a little bit closer around this area. And we're looking at about 14 hexes for a strike. I mean, how far is he away here? He's 21 hexes, isn't he? Okay. So we'd be looking at about that sort of range to be able to strike out there. So I could, in theory, linger around this area. We'll see about that. We'll see what additional assets we could potentially have moved to the Marsh Islands. It'd be nice to potentially get some more zeros out there to try and really ramp up the numbers there for protection. I think it's unlikely that he would come into bombard. He very well could bombard, though, now that I say that. But if he does bombard, I mean, Roy Namur doesn't have much in the way of protection, so I think what we'd want to do is have the KB somewhat in this area here so it could actually strike out against any tormentors. Over here at Kwajalein, we do actually have the fortifications. Sorry, we have the coastal guns. They're not the biggest coastal guns, but they are still coastal guns. And he has to come in quite deep to get there. At Rabal, there is about... Whoops. So we have about 63 zeros at Rabal. Yeah, even if moved in at full speed, I agree. And then we have another 25 zeros there, another 31 zeros there, so there's another like 50 odd there. Yeah. I think we're in a good situation. He may very well be moving into a position that won't work for him. I think the most likely option he has here, and I think the most likely thing he's going to be going for here then is potentially moving towards Wake. He might be looking at a roundabout way to head over here, but I don't know about that. I don't know what to gain from that. He may feel that we don't have detection, but he knows he's been detected out here beforehand. How did it go in the first turns? Wasn't it like he was in... This is something very similar to what he did all those turns ago. Over 100 turns ago, he did something very similar to this, didn't he? Where he approached in then... Where did he go after that? I think he went over here after that. How you doing there, Just? I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's a very similar maneuver to what he did in the very first opening turn, so I think we'd have to take a look at that and really compare. Good to see you, Just. How would a direct battle between carriers unfold? Well, better now because we have reinforced the Kiddipatai with additional zeros as well, so we do have more zeros than the Kiddipatai should have. We are rocking about 188 ready. Nothing too dramatic here today, just we did take a Chinese city today, which is quite nice. We do have what appears to be a American carrier group over there, which is quite cool. We'll see. But I think we're in a pretty good position here. Obviously, I would like to land before the amphibious, well, landed bonus ends, but we'll see. Not wedded to it. We still will take Wake Island, come what may. Yeah, likely so, likely so. I don't know. I don't think he intended to be spotted. Well, let's compare this then. So, actually, you know what's really important is to bear in mind he's 21 hexes here. Now, he knew that we previously had H6K4s probably be based, well, he would likely been aware that we had H6K4s based out here. And presumably over here at Novotok as well. So at that sort of range of 21, he would be outside their range there. Now, we do of course have the H6K4s based over here at Tuongi, which is only 13 hexes away. So previously, he would have been outside detection, now he's not. So maybe, he expected to be outside our range, which does make more sense now. Yeah, they're on naval attack. They do have a mix of ASW too. They've got that ASW, but they're predominantly on naval attack. These guys exclusively naval attack with a bit of surge. So they've been pretty much primed and ready to go. These guys obviously run escort still. Fatigue's a little bit higher on some of these other guys. Oh, we'll take a look at the R&D now then, shall we? Right, oh, there we go. We can actually have that, yeah, so that, okay, cool. That's going to be very nice. That's going to expedite things quite nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and save it here. Then convert that over. Make a second save just in case. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, perhaps do consider becoming a Twitch Prime subscriber, whatever you want to call it, here on Twitch. That would be much appreciated. It does help to support me as a content creator. Obviously, if you have Amazon, it's free, so that's awesome. Right, okay. Whoops. I'm thinking likely end of the year. This also does expedite that quite nicely. So A672, ooh, I'm trying to remember the actual path it goes down. I think it goes to 5B, and then I think it goes to C, then I think it goes to the 8. I think that is how it goes. Obviously I do have a save, so it doesn't particularly matter if I get that wrong. Looks like I got that wrong. Looks like it goes A6 and 5. Sorry, A6 and 5, then A6 and 5B, then A6 and 5C, I think. We'll double check. Tojo arrives normally around September, so it'll probably arrive sooner than that. Oh, when I say late 42, I'm expecting more like December, January sort of time anyway. Alright, let's see. Oops. Right, so A6 and 5, I'm pretty sure it goes to that one. So A6 and 5, that's kept 30. I can go to the B now. God, I wish this actual text was larger. And then to the C. Yeah, and then I think it goes to the 8. Which is there. Yep, there we go. Awesome. Well, the Tojos are really good. They're good for cap. They are pretty useful. And of course they do use the army pilots. But they're pretty damn fast. Okay, so that'll be available to convert tomorrow. So it's 65 now. Also, we do have the engine bonus helping us out too. No, naval pilots. Sorry, naval aircraft use navy pilots. Army aircraft use army pilots. As you can imagine. Okay. Can't wait to get those bad boys. Right, Nick's not far away now. Only 3 more left for it to be fully built up, and then I'm looking forward to building those. Now, Tojo arrives in September, so it's not far away. The RD is not going to speed it up, really. I don't think it'd really be possible to speed it up that much. I mean, maybe you could, but I think you would have had to have done that from the start of the game. I don't know. Helen's obviously progressing there, which is nice. Alan. Key 83 then. Still looking at just the 1-6, but we are seeing, I think, more 4s. Key 84 is making progress. George is making progress too. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Alright. Okay, so they're loading resources to head back to Japan with. These guys have just arrived over here, so I can actually have them load up the artillery. Oh, hang on a sec. Alright, so we have that. Additional mortars. I'd like to get that unit loaded. We do have these engineers, but I think I can come back for those engineers. They are helping to build up the base here in Manila. Do I have a PB in here? I don't think I even have a PB in there, so I can get one in there anyway. Yeah, building up that airfield, so it's not far. I can move them afterwards. It's a feature. Yeah, it's a feature. Yeah, such kind of tempted to move that there. How's that? Size 2 airfield. Yeah, size 2 airfield's better anyway. Now, I do have DMSs over here that I've refueled, which is good news. So I can have them head out. I'm going to have them head out towards Ingniwatok, so we do have fuel heading out that way too. They're not arrived for the wake operation, but who knows, they might. And it'd be useful to actually, well, to actually have them. Okay. Not seeing the ships that I saw beforehand, which is interesting. Right. It's going to take them a while, but they'll eventually get down. I'm not as familiar with the A6Ms. I think that is the, is it the SAMs? I'm not as familiar with those. Ah, there we go. We crossed over here without even having to attack, so that's good. So we can shock attack here. Ideally, finally be rid of these arses. I think kind of ridiculous that one, to be honest. Southern Army there is heading out towards National. RF gun battalions, yeah, they're kind of out of purpose at this moment in time, but they're still worthwhile having over here because we are expected to face off against armoured opposition out here. These fellas are moving. Okay, they're looking pretty good. Not far now. We do have a second tank regiment that has arrived here, so yeah. That is about, 114 tanks there, so he's not going to get out of that now. Oh, so that's cool. Oh, A7 M2, okay, sorry. Yep, and then we do have the infantry divisions moving out yet too. So what are we on? Secondary road. I'd expect it'll take them another... I imagine they'll arrive by the 24th of March, and then we should be able to then attack on the 25th of March. Yeah, that'd be about right. Okay. Yeah, so we'll have that. So it'll be a nice bit of VP to be gained there. Deny him a bunch of armoured units. I don't know, they've been kind of unfortunate, haven't they, really? They were moved to Burma too late. They've just not really been able to do anything. They've fought, of course, but they just... No chance. Obviously, this is moving over here. It's going to be a pain in the ass if it takes that, but it's not the end of the world. There's only like 4 supply there. We do have units moving in there too. He's also moving out of a hex which has no roads, and it is jungle rough, so it's going to take him a lot longer to get out there. Meanwhile, we're moving back. Kind of annoying that they can do that, but it is what it is. Let's see. I don't think I need a garrison here. No, I do not, actually. I'll have them head north, and they should actually arrive sooner. The tie have actually been really, really useful. Really useful. Let's see, how are we doing here? Still just building up that airfield. "12 engineers. Maybe I build a port there. I don't think that'd be doable, really. I guess I'll have them build fortifications. Earthquakes? No. Hitting random rocks? Yes. Hitting random, like, whales? Yes. Not earthquakes. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good. Yeah. Well, you've got to think about... Well, that's a question that I can't answer as such. The Zero was phenomenal for its time, at least from what I've been made aware of. I mean, you look at the range of the Zero Zero has phenomenal range. Also, there were sacrifices that had to be made to achieve that. I don't know enough about it to really compare them. What I'd recommend is obviously looking online, looking towards reading, really looking towards like literature, etc. Just like trying to find out an answer from somebody who's qualified. Okay. So at 2,214 AV now, which is good. Continue the bombardment. Obviously these guys have had time to recover. Yeah, they're looking pretty good over here now, actually. They are still waiting reinforcements. Replacement, sorry, but they're still looking better. The armored units have recovered, which is good. Electric engineers. A couple more to arrive out there. Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting, actually. I mean, if he's seriously pulling out a Kyanko, he's seriously weakening his defences here in this area, and I cannot fathom as to why he'd be doing so. He may be looking to move a large force over this way, or to here, perhaps. That one is arguably the most dangerous because it's still within supply area there. But it's still odd. So I could still move like a division over here, or a division, and leave a division here. And he's still going to have to get through that, and it's going to be much harder in like tie street terrain, especially when he's going to be lacking supply. So we could move around here to trap him, essentially. But we'll see. He's not moving that unit, and it is only 2,000 men, so I kind of feel like he's just moving out the units that are destroyed, perhaps. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I guess we will have to see. This, I just want to see what happens. I really want to see when his men eventually move over here. So I really do want to have Iceycrome. I really want it. They're recovering. It's taken a long time, obviously, but they are recovering. they're moving out, so they'll be out next turn. We bought them out now, so they can be rebuilt over here at Shanghai, and we can move them elsewhere then, which would be nice. Aye. And bombers are doing well. Yeah, well there you go, as Paul says. Built for a different theatre, built for a different mission in mind. Okay. So I'm going to get supply moved to these islands now. Put another one in there. Reason being, we're going to build these islands up over here, actually. Well, there you go, Snake, but you've answered your own question there. You're going to, like, think, well, why was their range decreased? Okay, we do have those nice looking fortifications. It's tempting to potentially build up the port arm. I think building up the port is really of secondary value. I think also the fortifications here are going to be worthwhile. It is going to make this a hard nut to crack. So way in that aviation headquarters move to the north. Right, more resources heading in here. Okay. I expect they're moving south or north, I'm not too sure though. Alright. Right, so we're at 29,000 supply over here at Rabaul now, which is good news. That's very nice. Really nice, in fact. So that means that we are going to be pretty good to go for a long time now. Definitely does help out. Fuel is obviously still here, as we do have these AOs that are kind of quite a good chunk of fuel. So Rabaul's looking pretty solid. It is looking very solid right now. A little disappointed that we didn't get a strike out here. But it is interesting to see that he hasn't moved, as far as I can tell. I imagine he's going to speed 17s out here. So we of course still need to have something out here to defend the bases, but I think we're probably alright. We do have enough zeros, which is good. More is always a good thing though. How many do we have in the stockpile here at the moment? So 5, yeah, so we're also putting them to good use each and every turn. They're going to another unit or to whatever else needs them. Right, so over here then is enough there, okay. Yeah, so, I think what we could look towards doing then, the good news is we do actually have our first wave already at sea, which is very useful. We do actually have, a good chunk of the division as well. Obviously I'd want to have the entire division, but we do have them there. So what we'll have to look at doing then is moving the actual ships away from the marshals for the time being. I mean, the actual troops could be moved in such a way as we can have them move towards Wakish. Or I could even have them... I could even just have them move towards the Kinabatai, really. Frankly, if I don't take Kinabatai's umbrella, then that's about as safe as they're going to get. Lots of options there. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about the BF-109, because it obviously was shorter range, so that meant that you could do more with the weight there. No, looking good. So we do have additional tanks moving as well now. Yeah, that closes it in. I haven't seen these units out here for a while, which also means they're going to show up at some point in the near future. We do have these divisions. Well, the division and troops heading out. Should be nice. And these guys are going to be great. They're going to be very, very useful to actually have in the chunking area. Well, Kianko Bay, whatever you want to call it, that area of China there. I'm not entirely sure what its name is. We're going to actually have them to garrison hexes, of course, and obviously look after us. It's really quite handy. Having additional AV is always a good thing to have too. Aye. I don't know. I still can't fathom as to what it's doing here. I still can't fathom it. And if it heads into the actual swamp, then I don't know. I mean, this is supposed to stop me from going over here and taking these bases. Also, I'd leave a good chunk of men out this way to hold out here, but I don't know. It's just, I just can't see what he's going to achieve from that. It does strike me as highly bizarre. I feel like maybe he knows that, I don't know, because then even if he feels like this area is going to be lost, well, why would you send them into the actual swamps? You'd have them brought back in to be of use. Even with low supply, they're still there. They still act as a barrier that we have to break through. So I'm not sure. I'm just not sure about that. I do find it highly odd. Either way, though, it works to our favour then. So I'd love to fight it, but that's not quite a comfortable enough amount of AV for me to go for it. And if he's going to do something like that, then okay, I'll allow him to do that. I imagine our bombers have been gaining experience from this. Yeah, that's the thing, he's trying to be a pain in the arse. But I don't know, because then that's just hastening the fall of China. Yeah, you can see that they have been gaining experience. I mean, this is really helpful for these guys doing this day in, day out. They're gaining experience against targets that can't fight back. I mean, this is it. It's looking good now. I mean, obviously with the fall of Kong, that does deny him additional resources. Which resources he's probably not hurting for, but eventually would. But obviously denies him another city. The fall of Liu Shao denied him additional industry there. We'll be going to take Huilin soon. Not much prep there, but it'll be enough. Well, good luck taking mainland Japan. Good luck. I mean, maybe he can try it. I mean, he can try it. Certainly can try it. But yeah, that would be quite tough for him. But yeah, I mean, the thing is with that, it's like, well, you can lose a lot of victory points even if you do win. Looking forward to seeing the bombardments out here soon enough. Alright, I do need to move to take these islands over here. So bombardments will certainly help with that. It's looking pretty good so far. These islands I'll have to take shortly. Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's like he can do that, but then we can just keep bombing him from the air. Yes, he has a lot of troops, but they are going to be losing. I mean, eventually attrition will kick in shortly. I don't know about that, Snake. There's a reason why the Allies didn't invade Japan, really. I will see. Either way, we're looking pretty good. I would have preferred to get that down at 6,000, but hey, if he... I don't know. if he does bring his carriers towards the marshals, we may very well be able to strike out him in such a way as to I don't know, maybe bring about an actual decisive battle, which I'm very much looking forward to. The fact that he's moving towards us is very interesting. We can still attack him with the Kid-Eye, but obviously I'd like to make use of air power. How much air power is he going to be aware about? I'm not too sure. He's never really gotten a proper taste of what we have in terms of air production. He's never really been able to... He's always been quite wily at avoiding that, so it'd be quite nice to actually be able to show him, okay, yes, we can actually have quite a decent chunk of air power. I don't know, we'll see, I guess. He's eventually going to make a mistake. Let's hope this is a mistake that he does indeed make. I mean, meanwhile, we're not really doing anything particularly different, because I will have the Kid-Eye essentially move to link up with the actual troops anyway, as they would. The DMSs are assembling, we'd have assets moving and loading, so this is it. It's not really anything out of the ordinary for us, so that's quite good. Well, even then, Snake, I mean, this is it. It's like... there was quite a faction that didn't want Japan to surrender. So we can't talk about, like, theoreticals, because this is the thing here. You might say that we've lost already, but then that's just a theoretical that we do not know the future of as of yet. So it goes both ways. It's something that we don't really know the actual truth of, because it never happened, but I can imagine if it did happen, it would not have been good for either side, really. Okay. So I think we'll about call it there. There's a few things that obviously will have to be taken care of. I was hoping to see something out here, but it's encouraging to see that they will fly out. Obviously, him being out here another turn is quite useful, I guess. It does give us the ability to make sure that everything has, well, everything's in position, so I guess we'll see. There's no detection over these guys, so it's going to be very interesting. We shall have to see. So I'd like to say a big thank you here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. Do follow me here on Twitch as well if you'd like to see more of my content. I will be back at some point in the future. Oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi. Yeah. Oyasumi. Oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. Indeed. Sayonara. Sayonara. Technically it would be Mataraisho. So Mataraisho. Mata Gaziobe or Gaziobe. If I was actually going to see you Monday, unlikely I'll see you Monday. Probably Friday, so Mata Ganyobe. I think it's Mata. Mata? I'm getting the pronunciation wrong. I'm just tired. Until next time, thank you and goodbye. Over and out. Adios. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like things. I don't know. Fucking Guten Tag.